What's your the most messed up truth and dare story? Alright everyone, story time. I'll try to keep it short, but there's a lot of detail, so hang in there with me. I was 16 and still very much an awkward teenager, sitting at home one night when my phone rang. A group of girls were going to a party at my good friend's house and wanted me to tag along since they knew he and I were close. So we get there and it's a normal party situation. Someone got a case of beer, another stole some liquor from their parents' cabinet. So after an hour or two, everyone was teenager buzzed and getting flirty. We sit down for a game of truth or dare and the typical kiss her and take your shirt off goes around a few times. So after about an hour, there's a bunch of us half naked in a circle. This is around the time where it goes downhill. My buddy's dad comes home early from whatever he was doing and we hear the garage door open. We all panic and try to redress as quickly as possible. In the calamity, I grabbed a girl's shirt and she starts freaking out because she couldn't find it. His dad walks in as I'm struggling to put on what I finally figured out wasn't my shirt and starts yelling at us all to get out. I gave the girl back her shirt as everyone is rushed out of the house. I'm the last to leave as I want to find my clothes, but give up after his dad is getting seriously pissed off at me. By the time I get to the driveway, I notice the girls have left without me. So I'm stuck a few miles away from home without a ride and a shirt. I said fuck it, there's no remedying this situation and just ran my drunk ass as far as I could. I made it about halfway before I stopped to catch my breath in a neighborhood next to a green belt. I'm paused on the sidewalk when I look up and see a cop parked a few houses down. Cop flicks on his headlights and I just stopped. There was no way I was going to make this situation any worse. So they pull up next to me and ask if everything is okay. I was completely honest with them and told the entire story. I fully expected a ticket, but they just started laughing at me and offered a ride home. When I got home, I see my mom sitting on the porch smoking a cigarette. So I step out of a cop car, half naked in the middle of the night, to my mother shaking her head looking like hellfire has struck deep in her soul. I got grounded for 2 weeks. Totally worth it though, because I saw my first titty that night. I was 12ish with a group of girls from the neighborhood. There was a creepy old guy that lived nearby. I watch you playing while I'm in my underwear, kind of creepy. They said they would all get naked if I managed to get inside his house. I needed that shit in my life. Without hesitation I smashed my elbow on the concrete and rolled over there under the guise of seeking medical attention. The guy let me in. The house was hoarders level gross. He watched me clean off my elbow and forced me to let him apply a bandage. The whole while he was fucking grunting or something. I made it out alive and unmolested. They made good on the dare. Not me, but I was at a party with a few friends a few years ago that got fucked up fast. It was in my friend's girlfriend's house for New Year's. Her parents were out, so they let her have a party, but her sister was also allowed to have one. They decided that one would take the living room and the other the kitchen. I was in the living room having a good time when my GF asked me to get a class for her. I went into the kitchen and that group was playing truth or dare. One girl asked a lad to lick her friend's used tampon and well, he fucking did. I stood there and just watched this nasty bitch pull out her tampon and hand it to him. It was a heavy flow. He straight up sucked it like a lollipop and gave it back to her. I left the kitchen and refused to go back. I was about 17 playing truth or dare at my buddy's GF's house. My ex-GF was there. We recently broke up but still got along fine. Parking truth or dare, she ends up getting dared to blow this dude she had a thing for and did it. I was pissed to say the least. They went into the bathroom to do this. As the game went on, the game got more and more sexual. A girl was dared to blow me in the bathroom. Me being funny and fairly intoxicated, stand up and drop my pants, upping the dare factor. At this point everyone had seen some body part of everyone, not missing a beat. She crawls over and does the deed right there in front of everyone. As epic as it sounds, I was excited, scared, drunk, and freaked out all at the same time, and didn't know what to do. She stopped after a few seconds and everyone was in shock. We won truth or dare that night. That was the craziest night of my young life, and that's only half the story in a nutshell. I accomplished the hat trick later that night. I had a sleepover in the first year of middle school. My parents were so happy because I barely had any friends, so they did everything they could to make the party awesome, include leaving us totally alone. We played Truth or Dare, and there was this one girl who was really good and nice, straight as Miss Perfect pretty much. Someone, I can't remember who, dared her to take off her pants and underwear and go naked from the waist down for the rest of the night. She didn't want to, but she started to get made fun of for not doing it, so she did. She looked so miserable walking around my house with her ass and lady parts exposed to the world. Granted, we were all girls, but it was still weird. I'll never forget how sad she looked. I started to say something about it, but I didn't want to go back to having no friends, so I didn't. But I still feel kinda bad about that to this day. When I was 12, I was on the porch playing Truth or Dare at night. We were told to stay on the porch, so a dare came to run across the road to the street light and back. So all three of us girls did it. I was wearing a plain t-shirt and a ball cap, hiding my hair in typical tomboy fashion. As we hit the light post and began to run back to the porch, a car comes screeching round the corner to stop in the middle of the intersection. Man jumps out with a crowbar. We freak and run for the house, and he gives chase. I was lost in the small herd, and I have been told, just as the crowbar is about to come down on me, I screamed and he stopped. The man yells, "Were you throwing rocks at my fucking car?" No. I cried as it's now full on fear tears, but I'm still running. He pivots around and leaves, just as quickly as he showed up in his newish Camaro. I assume he realized I was not in fact a boy. We are panicked, freaking out. This psycho almost killed me. Once the sound of his engine fades, across the street two boys come out of the dark between two houses, about our age, one in a ball cap, asking if we are okay. Yes, they were the throwers of the rocks, and hightailed it home, after confirming I had not been bludgeoned to death for their childish vandalism. No idea what happened to the man, and our parents never called the cops. If memory serves, I'm not sure they believed us, and we are pissed we left the porch. I'm 34 now, and remember that run like it was yesterday. It was Halloween, and I was at a classmate's place with some of my and their friends. After a while of just talking, we decided to play Truth or Dare. The game started out with boring answers and questions, and no one had the balls to choose Dare. So as soon as someone asked me Truth or Dare, I decided to choose Dare, and I could see they all had been waiting for someone to say Dare. I had to strip down naked in front of my classmates and friends. This seems kind of childish now that I'm older, but for a teenager this was pretty serious. After thinking over if I should do it or not, I decided that I should strip down. As soon as I was completely naked, my friends and classmates started laughing. I awkwardly joined in on the laughter to not seem insecure, but I was really bad at hiding how awkward I was. For a teenager, you would start wondering if they laughed at the fact that I was naked, or if they laughed at my penis for its size. All I have to say is that I searched up the average size of a penis that day. I was a junior in high school, was over at a friend's house playing beer pong without beer. We used unsugared Kool-Aid. Yeah, we were that cool. Anyway, when you got a ping pong ball in a cup, there was a number on the bottom corresponding to a truth or dare we had written out previously. My dare was to run around the perimeter of the house in my underwear. So I stripped down and run to the door, only to find a police officer standing there. I screamed "Motherfucker" and slammed the door in their face. I opened the door again. Two officers made their way in and began asking questions. They told us they wanted everyone to take breathalyzers. We all jumped at the chance to do so. I personally had never taken a breathalyzer before. However, once they saw our enthusiastic cooperation, they told us that they didn't have enough mouthpieces and to forget about it. They concluded we were not doing anything illegal. We weren't, and left. Come to find out later, the neighbors across the street called the police because they saw one of us drinking beer, which ended up being an IBC root beer. Also found out that there were 5 police officers waiting outside in the back of the house in case any of us decided to run. Best game of Truth or Dare ever. We were 6 friends, 3 girls and 3 boys. And we decided to get some drink, and we all consumed 3 full teachers whiskey while playing Never Have I Ever. After getting tipsy, we decided to play some games, and after a lot of meaningless debate and noise, Truth and Dare was chosen. There was additional rule that you can choose truth only 2 times. bottle was spun. And finally after 3 times it was my turn, and finally it was my turn. Naturally the whiskey boosted my ego, and I chose dare on the first turn thinking what could go wrong. It was a mistake. I was given the dare to kiss one of the girl, and I thought of it as a boon upon me. I held her and gave her a light kiss, and even she responded positively too, but suddenly without any warning she opened her mouth and her tongue came into mine. And suddenly one of my asshole friend decided to vomit it on the floor right in front of me, and due to smell and sight I wasn't able to control myself, and I too vomited right then and there. The only problem was that I was standing, and the vomit reached 2 others like a fountain, and some even got into the mouth of girl whom I was kissing, and that started a chain of vomit. By the time we became lucid enough we all were supporting hangovers, and were reeking so bad, as if we all had a shower of vomit. That girl was my crush, and any hope that I had, if any relationship with her, went away in the pool of that vomit. Went to visit family in Hawaii with a friend. I had met a guy through Instagram from Hawaii, and he agreed to fly over from a neighboring island for the day. He took us cliff diving, and then we went to a hotel bar for drinks. We started to play Truth or Dare, and my friend dared him to propose to me to get free drinks. I immediately said no, since I had only met him that day and he didn't feel comfortable doing the dare. We move on and keep on playing the game. He eventually said he had to use a restroom and left. 20 minutes go by and he didn't come back. At this point, I thought he had gotten uncomfortable by the dare and left, which was a bummer because I liked him. A while later, and he comes back with a beautiful pearl ring and proposes. The lady next to us started crying, and we got free drinks. We are still friends, and I laugh every time I think of this story.